Welcome to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. I'm Jody Walls.
I'm Brady Brock.
We're with Gumtree Mortgage here in New Albany over on Starling Avenue. We specialize in home financing needs, whether it's a purchase, a refinance, or new construction.
And we're super passionate about trying to help you find the home of your dreams, help you get it financed, just like this one right here.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Game. You come out and hit him in the mouth on the first play, we're going to be fine.
Being back to pass under heavy pressure, he goes down, and it's going to be picked off by the Bulldogs at the 35-yard line. Returned back out to the 45. And he really got hit, Jay Boone, on the interception.
This week's Tallahatchie Nutrition Player of the Week is Jay Boone. Jay played defense for us. They had 8 tackles, 1 pick, big night. Jay also does a lot of stuff on special teams and offense as well for us. So, Jay, appreciate what you do for us, and congratulations.
Thanks. Congratulations, Jay. Look forward to seeing us whoop up on the Vikings this Friday. Yes, sir.
Bulldog number 15 was there step for step with him. That's Jay Boone.
Hey, welcome back. Week 6 of the Coaches Show Inside New Albany Football with Cody Stubblefield. Coach, you're talking about the sponsors this week?
Yeah, our Coach Show sponsorship is Jody Walls and Brady Brock over at Gumtree Mortgage. Those guys have been supporting the show for a while now. We appreciate them, and y'all make sure y'all go see them for any of your mortgage needs.
David Good had to go work today, so he's going to miss out, but we got a special guest, Paul Henry, here. Paul's going to take us off, go through the stats, and commentate through this Coaches Show. Mr. Paul, you ready to roll?
We're pretty used to the show. I mean, we've been doing it since we've started. I think, how long have we done the Coaches Show?
I think last year was 6 years we've done it. So this
years.
is going on 7 years, so big hands here.
Yeah, big hands.
So we're glad to have you.
Try not to mess it up too much.
Yep. Well, Coach had a big game against Pontotoc.
Yep.
You know, Pontotoc, anytime you can beat them, real tough, real physical team. A great win.
Yeah, Pontotoc, big rivalry, the longest history rivalry between the two schools. Fortunate for us, we beat them the last 4 years now, and I think that's a testament to where our program's been lately, because that's a big win. It's always tough to go over there or play here and beat Pontotoc, so really pleased with that, really excited about that. Glad. I think the overall record is 47 for New Albany, 46 for Pontotoc now, so it's over like a 98-year period.
And we on top now.
So it's good to be on top for sure.
We're on top now.
Yep. Well, I know I'd heard going into the game that they're a real physical team, right? I know going in that was something that you were, probably really excited about, seeing if you could match that intensity. And hey, up front on both sides of the ball, looked like we did. Yeah. We handled our business.
I definitely think it was one of the most physical contests this year so far. Our offensive line did well and controlled the box, controlled the line of scrimmage on there. And then our defensive line, they came off. Pontotoc runs an offense that's really physical. They've got a big 200-plus pound running back, number 5. They've got a left tackle that's getting a lot of offers. Just a really physical bunch on offense. Our defense matched that and even brought it over the top there. Played really well defensively, and like you said, I think it all goes back to us being more physical than they were Friday night.
Looking at it, holding them to 22 points, that's pretty good.
Yeah, there were a few big plays there that they had that got them getting down there. I think we'd like to eliminate those, obviously, but just consistently, our defense played really well. I think it was our best defensive performance. Had guys like Parker Hicks and our other outside linebacker is Will Hardy. Will Hardy had a great night. But those two, I think those two guys, the outside linebacker, are critical for us having success, and they did a great job for us all night. Will, I think, had 9 tackles. I think Parker Hicks had 10 tackles. So those two guys do a lot for us up there. And then our defensive line played well. Linebackers played downhill. And our secondary got 2 turnovers, so a big night for our defense.
And only giving up 7 points that first half, you could feel that confidence building with that happening.
You got to stop, and we were scoring, so we got up quick on them. And they're not really a team that's designed to play from being behind. Right. They need to build off of getting first downs over and over and over again. Be it that physical mindset that we talked about. So when we got up on them, it put them in a real bind. I feel like, and, you know, that swung it to our favor for sure.
Yeah, looking at kind of your stats, you had 468 yards of total offense. You know, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you know, offensively, we've been good all year. You know, our goal on Mondays, we come in, we've got a goal board. We talk about it. We want to be over 350 yards. So, you know, to be over 400, well over 400 is a good night. We're averaging 45 plus points a game. Offense is doing a good job, and that starts with our offensive line, starts with Braden Shettles. Braden does a really good job, you know, managing the offense, hitting big plays. Had a couple of big pass plays to Cam Ray. Was doing our thing there. And Kyle and Knox is having a phenomenal year so far, you know, so we've got really good receivers spread out across the field. So I just feel like we're very talented there, and, you know, we want to keep making sure we put a lot of points on the board, but get those yards as well.
It looks like Braden threw for 181 yards, so right under 200 yards. Rushing looks like he actually rushed for 38 yards also, which, you know, Kylan had a huge game, 180 yards rushing on 18 carries. Burke had 27 yards, so kind of by committee, you know, had a lot of good rushes in there.
Yeah, you know, Collins did his thing. Like I said, 180 yards is phenomenal at night. Braden used his leg to extend some plays. He also got some pivotal third down conversions running the football. Got it manageable one time early on in the game, made it to like 4th and 2nd, something like that, and we ended up going for it and getting it, and then got a big 3rd and long earlier also. So he did a really good job using his legs to give us an advantage as well.
Well, Braden hit some big plays receiving. I think Cam had 3 for 85 yards. That's almost a 30-yard average, you know. Xavier had 1 for 38 yards, and then Kylan had a big one for 61. They're receiving too.
It's a big plays. That's another thing on our board. We want to have +5. I think we had 7 or 8 this week. So it was a good night offensively. Cam Ray had a big touchdown on a wheel route early in the game. He also had a 3rd down conversion across the middle that Braden threw, and he caught and converted on. So that's just our guys making plays. Cam Ray's a guy that, you know, we want to get the ball in his hands. He's a sophomore. He's a young guy, but he's certainly capable, you know. So that's what spread's built around. Figure out where they're lining up, figure out what to do, find your matchup, utilize the entire field. If they spread out too much, a guy like Kyle Knox can bust it right up the middle. So we've got a lot of weapons on offense that we're excited about.
Well, I think Braden extended some of those plays,
Yeah, he did.
with legs, and then making good
working
throws
well
down
in the
field.
pocket. And, you know, I know Braden wants to throw 300 yards a game and throw 40 times, but it shows you how well we're playing on defense and complementing the offense, getting ahead, where you don't really have to do that. You know, you don't want to put the ball up 40 times. You don't have to.
You know, if you watch us on offense, I'm not real sure what the defense is going to try to stop first. You know, so do you try to back up and play coverage, try to stop the pass? Do you bring pressure? If you're bringing pressure, there's quick game stuff that we've got to take advantage of. You know, if you sit back and if you spread out the box, we're going to run the football. So I think we've got some guys that, depending on what you want to try to do, we can take advantage of some matchups and do some really good things.
I'll tell you what, that one ball Braden threw down here toward the tailgate area, toward the field house.
That was a real Cam Ray.
I don't know that you could have thrown that ball any better.
Well,
That's a good ball.
You know, they got tight on us out there. They played a little man free set. The corner and the safety walked down a little bit. We saw it was funny because you watch it on film.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
We're signaling it in, and Cam's sitting over there trying to get us to call wheel. So, you know, that's always exciting when your coach, your offense is on the same page. Players out there are trying to call the play you want to call.
Right.
And then it works like that. So that was exciting to see. Cam saw it, we saw it, all on the same page, and then they went out there and executed it.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about defense for a minute. Defense, I know you already mentioned this. Will had a big game. Parker Hicks had a big game. Jay Boone had 8 tackles, plus he had a pick.
Yeah,
right?
Jay Boone was actually he was our Tallahatchie Nutrition Player of the Week. You know, had a big game out there, got a big turnover, had an interception, had 8 tackles. Jay's been one of our consistent guys on defense. He's kind of been our dog back there in the secondary. Jay's doing a really good job. Like you said, those are the guys. Parker Hicks, Will Hardy, 2 guys also doing a really good job. I can't tell you enough how good Jackson Howard's doing at nose. You know, doing a tremendous job. I hear people all the time talking about watching Cheese, you know, in the game, because he's a guy that he's going to have fun out there. He's going to be himself, you know. There's a joke going around of me trying to talk not to be himself one day, and so Cheese, just be you, man, just be you. And he does it and has fun with it. So yeah, but our defense is playing well. You know, guys like Jaden Foster are getting better and better. You know, I think Parker Skinner had a really good game at that stack backer. Landon Evans, you know, who didn't play last year, played this year, doing a good job for us. So it all feels like it's coming together right there. Defense is going to keep getting better and better. I look for us being tough to handle.
You can count on one thing. If Cheese makes a big play, we're going to see a little dance.
Oh
move
yeah,
after that.
absolutely. He's going to find the camera too.
You know, and we got to be careful there, right? I mean, we talk a lot about pre-snap penalties, post-snap penalties. Had a big third down stop, ended up getting a unsportsmanlike on. I think they called it the whole defense.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it was a good call or not. We were just celebrating a big third down stop.
Right.
Ended up still being 4th down, and then still like 4th and 8, and they ended up having to punt. But we got to be smart there too, obviously. And you know, we want to be disciplined. You want to be good. You want to make sure you execute, but you also want to be disciplined. And I tell those guys all the time, you know, enjoy it, enjoy the play, enjoy the moment. Come celebrate on the sideline, but also just expect to make those plays.
Right.
And so that's part of it too. But we certainly want them to have fun and enjoy it.
Well, last phase, you know, special teams. Talk to us a little bit about special teams.
Special teams has been, you know, I think it's been one of our strong points all year as well too. You got guys like Grayson, he's kicking and punting, AJ snapping, Caleb's doing a lot of good things holding for us, and you know, so one punt we had, I think Grayson had about a 50-yard punt.
Right.
I went to the left side, it was good. He was perfect on extra points and field goals. Kickoffs, he had multiple kickoffs in the end zone. We did a good job covering for the most part. Almost all of our goals that we talked about on Monday that we key were met on special teams this week. So it's been huge for us all year. You know, you want to win all 3 phases of the game. You certainly can't forget special teams. We've been really good there.
Yeah, Grayson was hitting 100% pretty much.
Yeah,
for
he's
the
been
game
locked on.
Friday
I
night,
don't want to knock on wood, but
kickoff
lights
returns.
out.
Yeah, kickoff return, you know, we're doing some different things. Cam's has a couple good nice returns right there for us. Cam's back there. Guys like Xavier Coleman, Jay Boone, some of those guys have been back there. You get a little bit of rotation, kind of who's got the hot hand back there, but you're certainly going to always see Cam back there. And we've done a good job. The starting field position is critical in football. You know, if you can start on the 35 instead of the 20 consistently, that ends up leading to points, and it's a big deal.
Cam on that one return, I mean, I think it was only like 12, 15 yards, but he broke like 4 tackles to get to that 12 yards. It was a really good return.
And some of that, you know, every one of those guys on kickoff return have a job. They've got an assignment. They've got a man to go block, and so they're kind of figuring that out and signing up there. You know, it takes you hitting it where it's supposed to go for it to be successful. Sometimes we got to make sure we're doing that. It starts with fielding the ball, right? I mean, you've got to field the ball. So we've talked a lot about that. We put 3 guys back there instead of 2, partly for that. We wanted to make sure, number 1, we're fielding it, and then number 2, get to the point, get to where we're supposed to be, get your blocks set up, and then because it's basically an offensive play. It's a chance for us to have a big play. We've got guys back there that can do it, so I want to take advantage of that.
Well, if I remember right, Cam had one big one that got called back too for a penalty, right?
Had a holding call, you know, and we you know.
Which they can make that call every play. Let's be honest.
And they can. We had a lot of holding calls. You know, that's something that we've got to clean up. A lot of them were inside the tackle box, which was a surprise because you usually don't get those kind of calls. But that's some things we got to clean up. You don't ever want a big play to be called back because of a holding call. You don't, whether it's an offensive pass, a run, or a play on special teams. So that's something we do need to clean up.
I thought kickoff did a really good job too. I mean, they had their athlete back there receiving, and he really didn't hurt us on kickoff. So he did a really good job there. And that's something you might overlook. You know, I know you don't, but as an average fan watching, you know, not a lot happened on kickoff was what you want.
Yeah,
right?
You know, our goal is to keep them inside the 20. You know, we pinned them inside that more than once. You know, just that starts with Grayson. Then it's all about your coverage. It's all about your effort getting down the field. We've seen some guys that were put over there that are doing a really good job. You know, you outside from our left side, we're typically kicking it deep left. You've got Jay Boone, you've got Jalen Nesbitt over there. You've got Will Hardy, who's a great tackler. AJ Curbow gives great effort. Then you've got Parker Hicks. And so some guys that give great effort, that really get down the ball. Then you've got some more guys on speed on outside to make sure it's contained. But, you know, their job is to give it everything they got to stay in their lane, avoid the ball, and then make a great tackle. So.
AJ went down on one of those kickoffs, and I'm on the top with Josh Curbow. I said, I think AJ's dead. I think he's dead. He got beat up on one of those plays.
AJ's going to throw his body around.
Yeah, he sure did.
Sometimes he plays a little bigger than his body is sometimes, but he does a good job. There's a lot of desire and work ethic and want to there. You know, the one thing I tell about AJ is he's not going to sneak up on anybody. When he's running, he's blowing and going, and you know, so we give him a hard time about not being able to sneak up on anybody, but he does a good job.
Well, Coach, big win.
Yep.
Where are we looking at for next week?
We got North Pontotoc. We start, you know, Pontotoc kind of started the second phase of our season, which is our division play. So, you know, proud to be 4-1. but you take it 1 week at a time. Opponent this week is North Pontotoc. It starts off division, an undefeated North Pontotoc team, who until this past Friday hadn't given up any points on offense. So they've given up 13 points all season over 4 games. So it's going to be a challenge for us. Those guys over there, they're excited about football, excited about where they're going to be. I'd like to sit there and say that they're not on the same level we are, though, and so that's what our challenge are, our guys, to make them understand that this is a different style of football. It's a different game Friday night, and that we're going to be ready for it. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think they're coming off a big win. They beat Kaisu 33-13 last week, and like you said, they're 4-0.
Yep. Well, I mean, they've got some players now. The quarterback's been there a long time. He's gotten a lot of reps for them. Number 6, Drew Winfun. He's a load. I don't know how tall he is, but he's a 200-plus pound kid. That's going to be a physical runner. He's trying to throw the ball a little bit more this way and can throw the ball well. The other thing is they've got some receivers that can make some things happen. Number 16 is a tall, athletic guy that they're going to try to get the ball to. They've got guys like number 9, number 2, number 1. Number 4 is a sophomore kid. Number 4 is actually the kid that was the quarterback when I was in school. Is his son, so you're starting to see some of those kids that I remember from North Pontotoc coming through there, though. But it's just the reality of it is they've got some talented guys in those skilled positions that we've got to account for. So I think they're a pretty good offensive football team.
That quarterback, he's not scared to throw it up to 16. You watch that film, he is going to give him a shot.
Well, 16 does a good job going to get him.
He does too. So he's talented.
When you're not scared to do that, there's a reason. And so it's based on experience they've had together, I'm sure, and just the fact that he can go up there and get it. So, but we've got some good DBs, right? We've got some good skill guys. So I think we match up with them well. And then I think we're better in the box and on the line of scrimmage than they are. So I'm excited about that as well.
Well, I know every year North Pontotoc's one you kind of circle because it's kind of a homecoming for you, right?
And North Pontotoc, those people there are great people. It's a phenomenal place. Was very instrumental in my upbringing, my life. My whole high school, middle school, elementary career was there. Played all my football there. Great coaches and relationships with those people over there. So, appreciate all of them, appreciate all the family there. But football is a business trip. When that whistle blows to start the game at 7 o'clock, it's all about Albany and making sure we come out.
Who coached you at North? Was it Sutton?
Pat Davis. Pat Davis was there. I'm a little bit older than you, Drew. No, Pat Davis was our coach. Coach Steve Brown was a guy that was our offensive line coach that was really, really good to me and instrumental in my life over those years. But just I had a great experience. Coach Brock Puckett, who's the superintendent there now, was one of our coaches. Chad Anthony, Chad's been there a while. Chad was there. But just great people. Like I said, it's a community. It's phenomenal. Really good people. They're just not quite as good as the Bulldogs are at football. So excited about that.
Well, we're getting to the point where these are the games that count, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, 1 week at a time. This is the most important thing for us. It's the first division game against a good opponent. Like I said, they are a good football team. We're challenging our statement to our guys is this is different. They've played some weaker competition, or you look at our non-division schedule, it's tough. And it is a tough road for us, and we've gone through it really well, I feel like. And I think that because of that, we've gotten better and better as we've gone. And so, like I said, I think it sets up well for us to be excited about it and to get out there and compete.
Right, absolutely.
That may be a good football team, but we got a pretty darn good football team too.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of excitement about this team. I mean, at the beginning of the year, especially Lafayette, we didn't know, right? I'm sure y'all didn't either. Meeting in that coach's office, we know Lafayette was a good football team, but we didn't know how that offense was going to click. Definitely, I could never imagine it clicking the way it is right now. I mean, it's clicking. That's good to see, and we keep getting better every week.
We knew we had a lot of talent, had a lot of guys back from last year, the 11-1 team, but there were some critical pieces that weren't there that we had to try to figure out. And the big thing is we're getting better right now. So the season's, it's a long season. We're just now kind of towards that midpoint of it, getting to the second phase of division play now. We've got to keep getting better and better each week. Every day you want to find a way to win, and you want to get better at practice. So that's still the cycle that we're in right now.
We're doing a good job with injuries too. I think anything to worry about there. I feel we're doing good.
We've got our center who's been out for a while now with the ACL, so we're missing him. But for the most part, we're pretty healthy. Nothing we can't deal with, and certainly want to stay that way. So we've been fortunate there.
Right. Well, Coach, another week. Glad to. I think we're going to get Coach Curbow on here in a bit.
Coach Curbow, he's our running backs coach. He's also our special teams coordinator. So I think you guys are going to talk a little bit about run play and what we do on special teams. So he does a tremendous job for us. Also is a big part of our middle school program. Josh is one of the guys that's been here a long time for us. I tell people he went on vacation one year at Myrtle, but he came right back, and we're very fortunate to have him and the football IQ and the hard work that he brings to the table.
All right, it's going to wrap us up with Coach Stubb, Mr. Henry here. We're going to get Coach Curbow on. Don't forget to stream us on New Albany School District YouTube page. If you can't be there, we'll be live streaming there. Should start around 5:30, starting with this coach's show here, and we'll see you Friday night. Go Dawgs. We're back on here with Coach Curbow here. Excited about him. I don't know if y'all know Coach Curbow, good dude, but better football coach. But also helps me on the baseball field. So he does high school baseball, JV baseball, high school football, JV football, junior high football. Poor Christiane. How do y'all do it? How do y'all do this? And I forgot some stuff. We got, how many travel softball teams are you in charge of? 7 travel softball team he's in charge of with the New Albany Athletics that the school kind of helps and the city work together to get that going for our youth. And then AJ's got to go somewhere every night, whether it's kicking, punting camp or ball games, baseball games, and football games. So how do you and Christiane do that?
Well, luckily she only works 2 and 3 days a week, and so she does a lot of running around while I'm working. Yeah,
there's nothing like those wives during during the season. They keep that glue for the family. That's right. Awesome. Coach, junior high football, y'all had a game last night. I heard you won.
We won 20-0 over Amory. Had a good night offensively and defensively. Scored a defensive touchdown to kind of seal the deal there towards the end. But got a good group of kids this year. Played a lot of tough competition, won a couple, and have been close in all of them. So.
And that gets us, we got one more game next week.
One more game, home against Shannon.
Talk about some of those guys that are coming up that we might look forward to. I know we got a running back, I think it's number 2.
Right? Carson Isom, he is special. Like Coach Stubblefield said earlier, we've been here 8 years, and I've had the opportunity to do middle school and high school and see those guys from 7th grade all the way through, and for me that's been something special, especially when they started to graduate and play their junior and senior year. And Carson's one of the more special running backs we've had come through.
I was joking with Stubb. I know Stubb likes to air it out and spread it around, but when you get Burks, a senior, and what's his name again?
Carson Isom.
Carson, a junior. You might be running some 13 personnel with a single eye. Running the ball, because you're going to have 2 legit running backs, right. Or junior and senior. Nothing against running backs now. Kayla Knotts and Burke's doing a great job, but it just gets brighter as we go down.
That's right. I agree.
Any more guys on there that stands out to you?
Waylon Smith. Waylon Smith's a big kid that plays some linebacker and safety for us. Plays receiver. He's a really good football player. I think he'll be another special one that will come through here. Everybody will know his name here in a couple of years.
Let's get on the JV side of things. What's some stuff you've seen on that JV side of the ball? You really don't want, it's awesome when you got a freshman, sophomore playing for you. You love that for a kid, but as a head coach personally, it is not the best in the world if you got to rely on freshmen and sophomores. So talk about some of them freshmen and sophomore JV players that we might not see on Friday night, but is going to make an impact one day in the future.
Well, you mentioned one of them, Aiden Birkin. You're starting to see him a little bit in varsity action. He's getting some rotation. Kai McFadden, LJ Dunham, those guys have done a really good job. Landon Winters and Dawson Horn have done a good job on the offensive line. The other big thing we noticed last night, though, is we've already kind of farmed some of those guys into some varsity games. Right. Aiden Dixon, Talon had 2 fumble recoveries for touchdown last night, but all those guys are playing on special teams. We were thin last night in the JV game, still got a win. Amory told us that was the first JV touchdown they'd given up all year. We beat them 28-14.
That's good.
But most of those guys out there on the field, especially at the start of the game, are playing special teams on Friday night, or moving in and out some on defense on Friday night. And so that's a good sign. We were a little thin, though, because some of the guys that were starting JV at the beginning of the year are now starting varsity offense, like Coach Stubblefield was talking about earlier, trying to find those pieces in between some injuries and some of those things. Yeah. We don't have those guys on Monday nights anymore.
And do y'all use that JV kind of like I do in baseball, where a guy starts performing really well in JV, starts getting more reps in that varsity?
100%,
right.
Yeah.
Kind of like we call it our little minor league system when we, our JV baseball. I'm sure we kind of do that a little bit football. Let's get more towards the varsity side. Offense production, you have a lot to do with that. It's been, I don't want to say negative, but you look at the Lafayette game, I thought, all we're going to be able to do is throw it to Simpson. Braden run around and find Simpson, throw it up. Well, now we got an offense. I mean, we're calling plays based on what the defense is giving us, and just whoever the guy is. Talk about that offense development. From the offensive line, the receivers to Braden, how we've gotten to mesh so well, and how it's been. What's the success coming from?
Well, a couple things. One, Coach Stubblefield alluded to earlier, we had to find those pieces and put those things together. We had a few guys that didn't play last year. They only played a little bit last year, and they've started to figure it out. But one of the more important things, I would say, Colin Stubblefield in the offensive line, he's done a really good job. And he told us early in August before that Lafayette game, he said it may be week 4 or 5 before we put it together. We got so many new guys on that line, and I think they've consistently gotten better week to week. I thought they got tested against Itawamba. I thought they got an even better test Friday night, and I thought they've done a really good job of getting better. Now he'll tell you they've still got a ways to go, but they've gotten better week to week, and that has helped us be able to do more. And allowed us to do things that we need to do offensively.
And the past couple, I would say last 2 years, we kind of had like 2 or 3 guys that we kind of just, we got to give them the ball. We got to figure out how to get this guy the ball, this player, we're not going to score. It's not the case like that this year. I mean, you got 4 receivers, you're confident in any play, give them the ball. You got 2 running backs, you're confident in getting the ball, and you got a quarterback that's going to do exactly what you need him to do. So, I mean, that is, as a play caller, that's got to give some confidence when you're calling a play. So it's awesome. I would say, and I'm a little biased, but I would say in North Mississippi, maybe the state, we got probably the best specialist crew in the state. From holder to long snapper to kicker. I mean, that's a special group. You want to talk about it a little bit? I know you've been taking them to the Coles camp. You've took these guys all over the place, put them against the best in the nation, and our guys are right there with them.
That's right.
They're right there with them. Talk about that specialist group.
Well, the thing that I think with those guys that's different from most, and I've had the opportunity most of my career because I punted in college to be in charge of the specialist, and those guys where they're different than any others, they'll stay after practice, or they'll come back at 7 o'clock at night, or we'll hear something going on during our film meetings on Sunday, and they're out there working on it. They've taken the time to figure out. Caleb George took the time to help AJ figure out where his laces are on extra point and field goal, and I think it was you and I watching the other night on film. We probably watched 10, 12, or 15 in a row where he's caught those laces out in front. He doesn't even have to spin the football anymore. That's because of the time they put in. I noticed Grayson said something a couple weeks ago about us having ruts in our yard from AJ snapping. We painted 3 different lines and painted it like a football field where he could move that net around. Well, now we've got 3 sets of 6-inch ruts in our yard. He's out there working. Grayson and Caleb are doing the same thing. Give Caleb a little bit of credit. He's behind Grayson, who's a 4-star kid, really good high school kicker. Caleb could have started for us almost any year here, and he could start for any team in the area. And he's humbled himself and understands that what his role is, and he's taking pride in that holding.
Doing a good job.
Grayson a couple weeks ago when we got up in the Caledonia game, I thought it was big of him. He comes in the office. We're having a meeting in here at halftime. He comes in the office. He's like, Caleb's good. Caleb's put in a lot of work, and he kicked in the second half. I thought that was big of Grayson because he was willing to sacrifice some of his statistics to let. And Caleb went out and performed just like he'd been starting all year.
Well, it's definitely. We had a good. I don't know if y'all watched it. Was it last week or 2 weeks? We got the specialists on here. We didn't get AJ on here. We got to get AJ on here, but we had George and Grayson on here, and we talked about. It might have been 2 weeks ago, but we talked about. But watch that film, and you watch when George holds that ball. If they hold that ball down like that and they're having to adjust it, that means those seams aren't right. Well, you watch our kicks and see how many times he's having to adjust that. He's not. He's down there. His seams are already up, so that's pretty amazing. We busting it through the uprights. There's a lot of confidence, and when we go PAT and field goals. I mean, if we're inside 45 yards, I mean, everybody feels like it's a made field goal. Hopefully we don't have to do that very often because we're scoring touchdowns, and we are right now. But it's a great accomplishment to you guys as coaches and get the buy-in with the kids. And we're also going to be excited about watching these guys on Saturday one day.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
that's going to be good. Coach, North's got a lot of momentum going in here. You know, this will be a personal. I don't think it will be as much personal for us playing. I think we'll battle with that mentally a little bit. But it will be a personal game for them because they feel like they can compete with us this year. You know, I can sense that a little bit just listening to them, watching them. You know, I can sense that they think they're going to compete in this game. And what's it going to be like to get that emotion right for our guys to be ready for this game? Because I really think those guys are, you know, mentally this is their World Series, their Super Bowl.
And they've got the players. They've got the players to compete. Like Coach Stubblefield said, I think that we have the better overall football team. I think we've prepared better with our schedule. I think maybe some of those easier games don't give you the opportunity to iron out some of the wrinkles because you're not tested like we've talked about we've been able to do. But I think that our kids have to understand, like Coach Stubbs said, that we're fixing to get their best shot. Their coaches are going to be prepared. They've got a great coaching staff. They've got kids that can make you pay if you're not in position. And so I think we have to understand all night long, or all week long, that we have to come out at the beginning of the night and set the tone, and we have to play that way all night long.
Yeah. And no matter who you're playing, to not put up any points for 3 weeks, you're doing something right.
That's right.
You're doing something right.
100%.
So we've got to get ready. We've got to get our minds right to really perform this week. I don't want it to be some type of, you know, I don't want to call it a trap game because this is a good football team we're playing this weekend.
That's right.
But we just, it's emotional 2 weeks for us. You got homecoming and then you got Pontotoc. That is an emotional week for these guys. So finding a way to get that emotion back, I feel like it's going to be a big toll for this ball game for us. Coach, one last thing before we get you off. We do a pick to click every week. I'm going to let you do the offense since you were up there on top calling the plays. I'm going to do defense. So what you need to do, tell me who you think is going to be the offensive player of the week and tell me the stat line they're going to have, and I'll do defense. Sound good?
That's good.
Let me know when you got yours ready.
I got mine ready.
All right.
I'm gonna go Kyle Knox with 18 carries for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Got to support my running backs there.
Ain't no doubt. He's also running back coach too, so he does it all. Let me see. I'm going to go Parker Hicks. Parker Hicks is going to have 8 tackles, but he's also going to have a fumble recovery and an interception that he won't drop this year. So I remember last year he had one, probably a pick 6. That dude went. This year we're clinching it up. He's taking the house for us. So Parker Hicks, come on, do me right. Well, that's going to wrap it up. We're getting close to kickoff. We'll start the lineup 10 minutes for game time. We're excited.